At a lavish dinner, the silent presence of a simple maid drew glances of disdain from the high society guests. When the laughter began, the millionaire's daughter climbed onto the table, silencing the entire room. With tears and courage, she revealed who truly deserved to be at that table, and who should be ashamed. In that instant, pride crumbled and the purest love exposed a truth that no money could conceal. Louisa adjusted her grey uniform as she ascended the marble staircase of the Montgomery mansion in the sophisticated Kensington neighbourhood of London. 8 months had passed since she began working as little Sophia's nanny, but she still felt out of place in that opulent environment. The contrast between her tiny apartment in the furthest reaches of the East End and that imposing 3-story structure with a swimming pool and landscaped garden could not have been greater. At the girl's bedroom door, she took a deep breath before knocking softly. Sophia was only 6, but her eyes held a sadness that did not belong to childhood. Abandoned by her mother Deborah 2 years ago, the little girl had retreated into her own world, refusing to trust anyone, until Louisa arrived. "Sophia, it's time for your bath before dinner." Louisa's voice was always melodious when she spoke to the girl. The door opened slowly, revealing Sophia in her uniform from the city's most exclusive private school. With her brown hair disheveled and a smile that a few months ago would have been unthinkable on her face. "Lou, look what I made at school today," the girl exclaimed, pulling the nanny by the hand to show a colourful drawing. "It's us at the park, look. Me, you and Daddy." Louisa's heart ached as she saw the 3 figures holding hands on the paper. In the drawing, she appeared wearing a yellow dress, her favourite colour, as Sophia had noticed. Something she would never wear in that house, where staff only wore the regulation uniform. "It's beautiful, my love. You have so much talent." She hugged the girl tenderly, trying not to think of her own daughter. Beatrice, who would be 6 now, like Sophia, if leukemia hadn't taken her 3 years ago. The pain of loss was a constant companion that Louisa kept hidden. Here at the Montgomery mansion, no one knew of her past. Neither of the apartments she shared with her ailing mother in Bethnal Green, nor of the 3 jobs she held to pay for Mrs. Celeste's expensive heart medication. "Shall we get you bathed? Your father is hosting important guests today, remember?" Louisa tried to guide the girl to the ensuite bathroom. Sophia made a face. "I don't want to go downstairs. Those people are boring. They only talk about money and pinch my cheeks." Louisa chuckled, remembering previous dinners where she had discreetly observed, from the kitchen doorway, the guests in their expensive jewelry and suits, discussing stocks, investments, and overseas properties. Her employer, Raphael Montgomery, always seemed slightly bored on these occasions, despite his impeccable posture as a host. "I know, little one, but it's important for your father. And you only need to appear to say goodnight. Then we can read that new book about the astronaut's adventures. What do you think?" The negotiation worked, and soon Sophia was in the bathtub surrounded by toys. As she washed the girl's hair, Louisa thought about how much that child had transformed in recent months. When she first arrived, Sophia barely spoke, refused to participate in school activities, and had frequent nightmares. Now she was once again a lively, curious child who dragged Louisa through the garden to show her every insect she found. "Lou, why do you never have dinner with us?" The innocent question caught Louisa by surprise. "Because I work here, Sophia. Staff don't sit at the table with their employers and guests." "But that's silly. You're nicer than all of them." Louisa smiled, helping the girl out of the bath. "Thank you for the compliment, but that's how it works. I eat in the kitchen with Rose and Anthony." As she dried and dressed Sophia in a party dress that cost more than her monthly salary, Louisa observed the girl's immense room, filled with toys still in their packaging. Raphael compensated for his absence with expensive gifts that rarely piqued his daughter's interest. Finishing the little girl's hair, Louisa heard the sound of cars arriving. The guests for the charity dinner were beginning to appear. "Done, you look beautiful. Now I'm going to help Rose with the appetizers, while you go downstairs to greet the guests with your father." Sophia clung to Louisa's hand. "I won't go without you. Sophia, I have to work. Your father is waiting. Please, Lou, just for a little bit. I'm scared of those women with long nails." The comment made Louisa laugh, and she hesitated. It wasn't her job to accompany the girl to the main drawing room during events, but Sophia seemed genuinely anxious. "Just to the stairs, then. After that, you'll go alone, agreed?" Sophia agreed, but Louisa already knew that mischievous glint in the girl's eyes. As they reached the corridor leading to the main staircase, they could hear the murmur of conversations and the clinking of crystal glasses. The mansion was illuminated by all the chandeliers. The hired team of waiters circulated with trays of canapes, and the pianist played classical music on the Steinway in the drawing room. Peeking discreetly, Louisa saw Raphael greeting the guests. Tall with an athletic build, black hair with streaks of grey at the temples that gave him a distinguished air. He wore a tailored Italian suit that highlighted his broad shoulders. He smiled, but Louisa knew that rehearsed smile well, the one that didn't reach his eyes. It was the same one he used at parent-teacher meetings at Sophia's school. His mother, Mrs. Monica Montgomery, stood by his side, impeccable in her navy blue dress and pearl necklace. And further away, chatting with a group of equally elegant women, was Helen, Raphael's sister, known for her thinly veiled disdain for all the staff in the mansion. "Come on, Sophia. Your father and grandmother are downstairs." But the girl didn't move. Instead, she squeezed Louisa's hand even tighter. "No, I want you to come with me." "Sophia, you know I can't. I'm not dressed appropriately, and I have to help in the kitchen. Please, Lou." "Just for today?" The girl's eyes welled up with tears, and Louisa felt her heart soften. "I'm scared to be alone with them. No one really talks to me like you do." Those words struck Louisa deeply. She knew the feeling of loneliness in a crowd well. How many times after Beatrice's passing had she felt invisible in the world? "All right, little one. I'll go down there with you, but only to escort you to your father, okay?" The smile that lit up Sophia's face was worth the risk. Together they began to descend the marble staircase, leading to the main drawing room. Louisa tried to stay one step behind, conscious of her simple uniform and worn shoes amidst the ostentatious luxury. It was then that Raphael looked up and saw them. For a fleeting instant, his gaze met Louisa's, and she swore she saw something different there, not the usual polite recognition of an employer, but something deeper, almost like a sudden realization. The moment passed quickly as Sophia let go of her hand and ran the last few steps, throwing herself into her father's arms. "Daddy!" "Lou came with me." Raphael smiled at his daughter, lifting her into the air before setting her down. His gaze returned to Louisa, who remained motionless in the middle of the stairs, wishing she could disappear. "Miss Louisa," he nodded. "Thank you for bringing Sophia." Louisa gave an affirmative gesture, ready to turn around and return to the safety of the kitchen when she felt someone tugging at her skirt. Sophia had come back and was clutching the fabric with determination. "She's having dinner with us today, Daddy. I invited her." The silence that followed seemed to last an eternity. Louisa felt her face burn as she saw the curious glances of the guests turn to her, some surprised, others clearly disdainful. "Sophia, Miss Louisa needs to help in the kitchen today," Raphael explained gently. "We have many guests, but I want her to stay with me." Sophia's voice rose, attracting even more attention. Mrs. Monica approached, her expensive perfume enveloping Louisa like a suffocating cloud. "Darling, the staff have their own dining area. I'm sure the nanny understands that, doesn't she?" The condescending tone made Louisa feel even smaller. "Excuse me," she murmured, trying to take a step back, but Sophia wouldn't let go of her skirt. "No, Grandma. Lou isn't just staff, she's my friend. She knows all my stories and helps me with my nightmares." Helen, who had been observing the scene with an ironic smile, approached. "Raphael, control your daughter. This is becoming embarrassing." Her voice, though low, was loud enough for several guests to hear. Louisa's heart pounded. She was about to gently disentangle herself from Sophia and escape that humiliating scene when she noticed something that surprised her. Raphael didn't seem annoyed or embarrassed. Instead, he watched his daughter with a thoughtful, almost admiring expression. "Sophia, why is it so important to you that Miss Louisa dines with us today?" he asked, crouching down to his daughter's height. The question seemed to catch everyone by surprise, including Louisa. "Because she's the only one who truly likes me," Sophia replied with the cutting sincerity that only children possess. Those words hung in the air like a silent accusation. Louisa saw Raphael's face transform, a shadow of pain crossing his perfect features. For a moment, the successful businessman, the